This is causing anxiety. What's going on, everybody? It's your old pal Wood Doofus here. Today we're going to be making this Michael Jordan Jumpman clock. Personally, I have never watched sports basically my entire life. But I did grow up in the 90s, and any 90s kid liked Michael Jordan. Whether you watch sports or not, Michael Jordan was one of the coolest things in the world. I even ate Wheaties because of Michael Jordan, just so I can get that poster that was attached to the box. And I put that poster of Michael Jordan on my wall, and it stayed there for a very long time. Today I'm making this for a friend of mine, Joe. I worked with Joe for a long time, over 8 years now. He's one of the best guys I know. He also has a YouTube channel called GrindModeJoe, and I'll put a link down in the description to his channel. He does a lot of reaction videos and fun things like that. You can make this clock yourself for around $40. I'm going to try my best to show you how, and I hope you learn something. I hope you're inspired to make something. So let's go ahead and get started on it. So let's talk about the materials and tools that you're going to need. First of all, you got your 18-inch wooden board. I got this at the Home Depot. It cost about $8. It's 1 inch thick. It's a pretty nice piece of wood. You got your black acrylic paint. You can probably grab a small one of these at Walmart for $1. You got some clear gloss spray polyurethane here. I got this on Amazon for about $7, $8, I think. I'll put a link to that. This is optional. I got some ebony stain that I'm gonna put on before I put the paint on. You got your clock hardware. This costs about $8 on Amazon. I'll put a link to that. You got your drill. I'm gonna use a 1/8 bit and also a 5/8 bit later on. And I got a Sharpie and some cardboard. So that's everything you're gonna need. I'm gonna start by applying some of this ebony stain. Like I say, it's not necessary to do this. You could just put a couple coats of this acrylic paint and it'll probably work just as good. But I wanted to get the wood stained underneath to hopefully have a richer look to it. I'm just gonna apply it with a paper towel. So there it is with the ebony stain. If you want, you could just leave it like this. It still has the wood grain in there. It looks pretty good. But I want this to be a richer black, so I'm gonna add the paint after this dries. You're gonna need to find the center of the circle in order to install the hardware, and that can be complicated. The best way I could think of was to make a template. And since I know that this is an 18-inch circle, all I have to do is take a piece of cardboard and measure 9 inches. And once you have 9 inches, you can poke some holes on both ends of that 9-inch line. Drill them if you got a drill nearby, make it feel real cool. Now, I mean, I already have mine cut out, but let's say you just have a big square piece of cardboard. You're just gonna need to have something to hold it and then something to mark it on the other side. Go around that 9-inch circle, or sorry, the 9-inch radius of the 18-inch diameter. Go all the way around that thing, and then you'll have your center marked and you'll have an 18-inch circle. Just cut that out, put it on top of your board like it is here, and mark the center through your center hole. Then you have a pretty good mark where the center is. I got mine right there. I think the stain is probably dry enough. It's not 100% dry, but we're gonna go ahead and put on some of this acrylic paint now. Alright, now it's time to hit it up with some polyurethane. This is gonna put a protective coating on it, and on top of that, it's gonna really make it look shiny and nice. So in between coats of polyurethane, you can get some fine grained sandpaper or some steel wool and give it a light sanding to take the roughness out, and then the final product will be a little smoother at the end. Well, it's been a few days. I've been busy working on some other projects, but I finally got some time to come back to this. And one thing I've learned is that this spray polyurethane is pretty much garbage. I don't like it at all. I sprayed it on there several coats and it never stopped being tacky. I let it sit like overnight inside the house, never stopped being tacky to the touch, and I hate that. So I went back to my old reliable Varathane polyurethane water-based. I was trying to keep it simple by, hey, buy some spray stuff, it's easy. It's garbage, unfortunately. This you just have to brush on. Still easy, but you gotta pay like 16 bucks for this thing. I like this stuff so much, I buy it by the gallon. This is like 50 bucks right here, but I use it a lot. Anyway, this looks really good now. I got the paint on there, I got the polyurethane. It's a nice hard coat now. You can brush anything off of it, nothing sticks to it. Now it's time to make this hole that we drilled earlier a little bigger to accommodate the threads on this clock piece. Okay, so I got the 5/16 drill bit on there, which should be the right size to accommodate the clock hardware. And like I said earlier, we previously screwed a small hole in there in order to maintain where the center point is, and we used our cardboard over here to make that center. And now we're just gonna make that hole bigger with the 5/16, and it's important that you start on the front and not the back. These drill bits tend to push some splintering off on the other side, so you want to push those splinters off on the back side and get a clean hole on the front side. Not too bad. Alright, so I got the clock hardware out and I got a good size shaft on this hardware. Make sure when you're shopping that you get the good size shaft on there. I don't mean to sound weird about that, but sometimes they come short and then they don't work with your material. So just make sure it's a good size. And looks like it fits, so we got the right size drill bit. Now we need to, well, if you notice, it doesn't come all the way through. We need it to come all the way through. We need to cut out some material out of this wood. I'm gonna use my palm router. I guess I should apologize. I told you only needed a few kind of tools to do this, but the best way to make this cutout is with the router bit. But I will say that if you don't have a router, you can use a drill. If you put a piece of tape at about a 1/2 inch mark and you just drill a bunch of holes in the wood, you'll eventually get out enough space that you can fit that clock hardware in there. But I have created this jig and I'm going to use my router bit to do that. Now you don't want to cut out the whole 1/2 inch or more all at once. You want to do it in at least 3 passes. And with my jig here, I have these screws that poke through a little bit. So once I get it in place around there, I just want to tap the screws in. And that is going to hold my jig in place while I route this out. Now, I am going to make sure that I make this a shallow pass. And like I said, you want to do at least 3. I'm going to do at least 3 passes with this thing. Got my hearing protection on. Oh, still no threads. Alright, well you get the idea. I'm just gonna keep going until I can see some threads. Alright, I think I finally got enough material off. Let's try it out. Poke it through. It's all got some threads showing through. That's what we want. Take that off. Now we're good to start assembling. We're gonna start working on mapping out where the stickers are gonna go. And to get stickers like this, you can go on Etsy, and people sell stuff like this all the time. You can get the numbers and the little Jumpman. like $15 to $20. I actually had a friend that has a Cricut. She made these for me, so that was awesome. Thanks a lot. We need to make sure we get the numbers in the right place. And I only have 12, 9, 6, 3, and 2. And the 2 and the 3 are in red while everything else is in white. If you're watching this video, you should probably know why the 2 and 3 are in red. I should not have to tell you, so I won't. So yeah, we need to map out the top and the bottom, the edges, but then I have to use a 30-degree angle to find the 2. Let's start with the 12, 6, 3, and 9. That's easy. All right, now that I have an established line, I can use that with my handy dandy protractor that you can mug any 6th grader and take their backpack, and inside that backpack you will find a protractor. Alright, now, so we have 12, 3, 6, and 9. We need to figure out how to put the 2 there. Every number on a clock has 30 degrees, so there's 3 sections and 90 degrees. 90 divided by 3 is 30, so we do 30 degrees. I'm sorry if math offends you. I understand. I have 3 children and I have to do all their math for them, and so I am thoroughly offended by math. 30 degrees. Let's take my straight edge from the center point, and that's where the 2 needs to go. Now I just need to transfer these lines somehow through the cardboard. All right, so here's what I did. I took the ruler on this protractor and I measured 1.5 inch from the edge on each one of these number spots. Now, I picked 1.5 just randomly based on the dimensions. Based on the dimensions of this circle, so you know, whatever, pick your own dimensions, I don't care. Once I measured 1.5 inch from the edge on each number, I took a drill and I drilled a hole in the cardboard. Now you might think that drilling a hole in the cardboard is a bit excessive. It is. Now I'm taking a pencil, and where I drilled the holes, I'm making a pencil mark, transferring through onto the clock where each one of these numbers is going to go. That way, when I pick it up, there should be little marks that aren't super noticeable, but just noticeable enough for me to put the numbers where they need to go. All right, I successfully got the 12 on there, so now I'm gonna try to get the 6 on the opposite. And I got a couple of different straight things here, so. Round things stress me out. I'm gonna push down on the sticker part, so the sticker part stays, and then the plastic contact tape comes off. Using my handy dandy protractor to push it down. It's the one that I mugged a 6th grader for. Very handy. Now I want to pull up the contact tape without pulling up the number. Whoa, that was close. I hope I didn't mix up the 6 and the 9. Oh no. Alright, almost got the 2 on. Last number. Success! Now it's time for old MJ. Oh, that's gonna look good. Whoop! What you doing over there? Don't you do it? Gotcha. Oh yeah. Now we're cooking with gas. This is the first video of mine that you've watched. That's my catchphrase. Cooking with gas. Gotta poke the hole right through there. Looks like his belly button. Gucci, Gucci, Gucci. Okay. There's the old knife in there. Make sure I don't do anything stupid. Gucci. Performing an appendectomy, I believe. Michael Jordan's intestines. Alright, we removed the appendix. Looking good. I tell you, I was actually getting worried because I just kind of eyeballed where to put the Jumpman. I was worried where the hole was going to end up after I already stuck it because, as you know, we got the shaft here and we want to make sure nothing obscene happens with that shaft. So now it's coming right out of his belly button. Almost like if it came out of his chest, it'd be like the alien popping out the end. I don't know. Let's go ahead and get the rest of the clock hardware here. I think we're almost done. I think I lost some of those pieces. All right, so the first thing we want to do is take this little rubber gasket thing, put it on there. Now we're going to put that back through the hole where it goes. Now we're going to take this washer, put it right there. Now we're going to take this little nut, put it right there. So which one's first? Let's talk about the hour hand going on first. All right, here comes the minute hand. Drop it 10 times. There we go, popped right on there. And I've actually never had a second hand before. I don't know if I want one. I'm gonna see what it's like before I decide. I need a battery to make sure it works. Found a battery. My kids, they steal all my batteries, but I found one. Let's go ahead and set the time first. I have 1:03. I said let's pop it in and see what happens. Oh, and we are operational. I do not know if I like that second hand. That is a lot of movement. It is nerve-wracking to me to see that thing moving. I like the slowness of just the hour and the minute hand. You see the way I talk like a zombie. So I like things slow. This is causing anxiety. So I might break it off. And let's pop the battery back in. It'd really suck if this needs the second hand. But I don't think it does. I can see it moving. It's still moving. All right, so we're all done. Here's what I call the Michael Jordan clock. I think this is pretty cool. I'm gonna give it to my friend GrindModeJoe at a different YouTube channel, and hopefully he'll show it on his channel. If you clicked over from GrindModeJoe's channel, I really appreciate that. Consider subscribing. I make a lot of pretty fun stuff on this channel. Until next time, don't be afraid to be a doofus.